All right, hello. Welcome to the Hold My Helmet Football Podcast. I'm your host, Will Reichling.
And I'm your host, Dylan Boyle.
Welcome back, Dylan. Welcome back. We got the poster. We got some
better
gear.
than ever. Yeah, geared out. Yeah.
Finally, we got some shirts. We got some apparel, and we're looking a little official now.
Of course. And listen, if you guys want to chip in too, we're also selling as well. So we're doing T-shirts $20, hats $15, beanies $10, and we also have hoodies for $40. Now, if you guys want to check that out, we have it posted on our website, or not our website,
our
yet.
Instagram,
not yet.
Social media.
Check out social on Instagram, media. Obviously
at Hold My Helmet. We got it right
helmet.
there. At Hold My Helmet.
Give us a follow. That always goes a long way. Same thing. Subscribe, like, and all that.
Like, subscribe, share, and give us a little donation. I'm kidding, but I'm very impressed with how far we've came so far, Dylan.
Yeah.
In the first couple of months, I'm impressed by. And look, it's not like we're getting like hundreds of thousands of views, but we get a few thousand sometimes. So I like to think we're doing okay so far.
No, yeah.
I mean,
great strides.
Yeah,
great strides.
yeah. It seems like people got really upset at my Dak versus Daniel Jones take. So
yeah.
I'll get more. Yeah,
the people did not agree.
The people have spoken, but I'll get a little more into specifically Daniel Jones later. But I'd like to start with the preseason, Dylan, and week 2. Tua started.
So yeah.
Why?
Okay.
Why would you play? What are you doing, man? Are you trying to get him hurt?
I completely understand why some teams will start some players like the Giants. They're starting Daniel Jones the first quarter just so they can get an idea of their wide receiver core. The Jets are starting Rodgers next week. 1 week. And that's just because he's his first time playing for the team.
I get
There's
that.
a few things. But what changes have the Dolphins made where they need to see what Tua is or what weapons they need?
No, because when Tua plays, they're going to win games. But if this is the whole point, if Tua doesn't play, you're screwed. And what are you doing putting Tua out there in a meaningless game? I mean, I'm pretty shocked at that. It wasn't a smart idea. What is going on? What is Mike McDaniel thinking?
With his history of head injuries, it's like what,
exactly. You say Daniel Jones and Aaron Rodgers. They've never had concussions. Oh no, I'm pretty sure Daniel Jones has had a concussion before, but no one's had concussions to the level Tua has. And this is uncharted territory. Dylan.
He had 2 back-to-back concussions.
His fingers were like this,
and there was questions of him even coming back at all. So yeah. Why risk that? What, do you want a brain dead Tua?
Why risk that? And he threw a dumb pick early, and looked like
the concussions got to him.
Is that going to be a factor this year? Is Tua going to be scared to get hurt?
See,
is Tua going to make mistakes because he's going to be scared to get hit and make untimely throws? I think he's going to be fine. I'm just speculating here, but what do you think?
That's a pretty good prediction. It could very much be possible. After getting hit so many times, you start to worry. And it starts to affect your game, and it shows. But honestly, I really don't think that's a factor here. We saw Tua really bulk up in the offseason. So I think that he's really going the other way with it, and he's embracing it. And he's realized, I really got to do something to, avoid this concussion.
Yeah, and not even concussions. I'm pretty sure he's pretty injury prone as it is. He got hurt at Alabama. He got hurt before the concussions with Miami. I'm pretty sure the year before. And now with the concussions, so it's like, can he stay healthy? It's starting to become a concern of Tua. But like I said in many episodes, when Tua plays, he puts up numbers. So if he plays, they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. I think he'll be fine, even if he plays. I'm just speculating a little bit. I mean, this is a possibility. He might play a little scared and make some dumb decisions. It's not out of the realm. Especially
completely understandable with that. But back to what I was saying, it's really crazy how you start these players that are completely fine, what you have. And then we have all these other players getting hurt. So like over the weekend, the Patriots cornerback, what was his name? Isaiah Baldwin.
Bolden, yeah, right.
Isaiah Bolden. And he completely dropped motionless on the ground, and it was really scary. We thought we were going to have
another Damar Hamlin situation. A little different because he ran into his own player, and Damar Hamlin's kind of like, what just happened? But yeah, right.
No, but like when he dropped down, he was motionless for a good minute. It looked like he literally just died on the field. Turns out he's all okay now.
Thank God.
Thanks God. But then also the Bucs quarterback John Wolford. He had a neck injury and he had to be taken off the field on a stretcher.
Didn't he play for the Rams? I'm pretty sure. I think so. But yeah, that was another thing. That reminded me of Tua a little bit.
No, I know, and it's just these preseason games really don't mean much, but you see all these players getting hurt, and What if those players were a veteran, a starting quarterback?
What if it was Tua?
What if it was Tua? Exactly.
I mean, I know they have Mike White as their backup, and he could deliver the ball to his receivers, but people kind of want to like hate on Tua. He ain't Tua. Okay, Tua is very accurate. He's like a little less talented Drew Brees. He just gets the ball to his receivers.
Listen, I'm not too high on him just for the fact that he makes there's a lot, like, he's not good with the deep ball. I think I said this before.
But if he plays, they're better. You know that for a fact.
For sure.
Yeah, especially since what we saw last year.
But I feel like if it really came down to it, Mike White could probably get it done too.
I agree. Just from what I saw on the Jets.
Yeah, and just the elite wide receiver core they have.
Absolutely, they're absolutely. I absolutely agree.
But I think we'll jump right into it. Jonathan Taylor was finally given the green light to be traded.
Right, yeah, and it's funny because I was just talking about it the other week about how him and the owner were going back and forth. The owner, Jim Irsay, says, we're not trading him, gives this whole rant. Now all of a sudden they're trading him. So what is, this owner is just very up and down. I said this before, the Colts are turning into a dysfunctional franchise.
They very much are. I think the owner came down to a realization. He's like, all right, let me try to get out of this hot water, and gave him the okay to trade.
Right. So Dylan, I'm going to play a little game here. We're going to call it, we don't play many games on this show, so I'm going to get a little creative here. Let's call it yay or nay. I'm going to list out some teams for you, and then we'll both decide for Jonathan Taylor, yay or nay for trade destinations. Let's do this. Obviously, let's start with the Miami Dolphins. Yay or nay, Dylan?
Yay for this one. I feel like this is a big one that we were just talking about how Tua couldn't, we got to avoid him getting hurt at all costs, and a good way to do that is to have a good running back in the backfield.
Run the football, right, exactly. And that would be a yay for me, too. I mean, they were out looking for Dalvin Cook, so obviously this makes sense. They do have two very capable running backs in Mostert and Jeff Wilson, but Jonathan Taylor will add another dimension to that offense, which is already elite. Imagine Tyreek Hill, Jayden Waddle, and Jonathan Taylor, and Tua staying healthy. That might be a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Right now they're a dark horse Super Bowl contender, but that could be next level. Moving on.
Yeah. Chicago
Bears, an interesting one. Yay or nay, Dylan?
I'm going to go nay on this one just because you have Justin Fields, That's basically your runner right there. As long as you have some sort of mediocre running back, you'll be fine.
Because he's going to probably swallow up a majority of the rushing yards.
Yes.
So for me, I'm going to go yay on that one just because, they did add some talent at wide receiver. Khalil Herbert is also capable, but that will add another dimension to your offense, and that would take a lot of pressure off Justin Fields. You don't want him getting hurt, so I think that's also a yay for me. How about the Kansas City Chiefs?
So I feel like if they added Kansas City Chiefs added Jonathan Taylor, they would easily be going for the run for a third Super Bowl. Not that they aren't.
They're already in now.
No, they already are.
With Jonathan Taylor.
I would be afraid to verse them at that point. I'd be afraid to go up against.
So
them.
That's a yay for you.
Yes, definitely a yay. I think they could really utilize. They don't have much talent out there.
No,
they need some sort of elite.
They really don't. And Pacheco, again, a lot of very capable running backs, but not that many elite running backs. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to have to go with nay, just because, one, I don't think they would pay Jonathan Taylor what he wants, and two, I don't think they necessarily need him. I mean, they showed it last year. So I'm going to, would it be interesting? Absolutely.
But listen, they're not paying many players that much money.
No, they're just paying Mahomes and Chris Jones, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, maybe you have one more player that, you give a good amount of money to,
I think the Chiefs played a little safe, and, the injuries probably scare them a little bit. And they didn't even pay, like I said this a long time ago, they didn't even pay Tyreek Hill. Why would they pay Jonathan Taylor? So I'm going to have to go with nay on that one. This is another interesting one. The Buffalo Bills.
I go yay on that one for sure. They definitely, that's the same situation. Like they're in a position where they need to make some sort of changes. They've been had the run for the Super Bowl that they just keep on missing out on.
Slowly declining.
They really need something that will boost them up. That will really give them some sort of confidence boost and give them some good outlook.
And I've said this in other episodes also. they need to develop a consistent running game without Josh Allen. So this is a big yay for me.
Oh, of course, yeah. And
beautiful fit for them.
We
That'd
talked
be a
about it
beautiful
before.
fit.
You can't just keep on running with these quarterbacks. Yeah, they're good, but they get old after a while,
Yes.
and you got to stop relying on the run game.
Yeah, you got, especially with your quarterback, especially as they start to get older. They start to learn. They need to learn how to slide. Lamar's starting to go through this now a little bit because a lot of injuries starting to pile up. Eventually, Josh Allen's going to start wearing out. Big Ben got hit a lot, wore out a little bit. He wasn't mobile like Josh Allen, but he can move a little bit. He was an underrated mover. But
I'm going to throw one at you. The Ravens.
Big yay for me. Big yay.
Okay, so I'm going to see. The only reason why I said that is because I've seen rumors going around that it would be a good fit. But I really disagree. Just for the fact that you got Lamar Jackson, obviously, and I'm really high on J.K. Dobbins. Yes,
You've been telling me this off there a lot.
He's injury prone, but he, in the times that he has played, he shows potential.
He does. No, he absolutely does. The problem is the injuries have been mounting up for him, and I just don't know what I'm going to get. And Jonathan Taylor, because people, are saying that they want to see Lamar air out that offense. Didn't we just see it play in practice the other day where he had kind of underthrew? Was it Odell? He underthrew.
Yeah. Right.
Stick to what you know. The run game. They developed a great run game with Lamar, and add that other element with Jonathan. Add that other element with Jonathan Taylor. You had the read option. Who's going to run it, Lamar or Taylor? You don't know. It just adds another element of surprise with Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham. They got some players now.
But that's what I'm saying. They have a lot of talent over there. I don't know if they could afford it, and I don't know if the locker room will be fine with all those.
And they were stubborn to pay Lamar. I mean, they overpaid Odell. I think we could both agree on that. I think it was like $15 million or something like that. Definitely overpaid Odell. But they're going to overpay on two players. I would have rather overpaid on Jonathan Taylor than overpaid on Odell Beckham. But that's neither here nor there.
So I will say, if they do get Jonathan Taylor, I'll definitely, put money on them going to the Super Bowl because they have so much talent. They got Odell Beckham. As soon as Odell Beckham stepped into the Rams facility, they went to the Super Bowl. So what could you say? I'm excited to see it, but at the same time,
I don't know what's.
I kind of know what's gonna happen with him.
It's the opposite. I don't know what to expect with Odell and the Ravens and Lamar. Are they gonna be airing it out? Lamar's gonna look like MVP Lamar a few seasons ago, where he threw 30-something touchdowns, over 100 passer rating. I don't know because
it's really scary because you see this guy that hasn't played in 2 years. He hasn't played NFL in 2 years, so that's why we were talking about. It's kind of crazy how he got $15 million. When all these other really good wide receivers aren't getting anything.
And they were stubborn to pay Lamar, but I think part of overpaying Odell was to get Lamar to sign. So it's a little iffy. It's a little gray area for that. But moving on, here's another team that you might not necessarily think of, but it actually could be an interesting fit: the Washington Commanders.
Oh wow, that is pretty interesting.
I gotta go with yay for that one. What about you? With Gibson and Brian Robinson, Robinson's been improving, but you don't know. You don't really know what you're gonna get.
I feel like for John, it would be a good pickup because you still have a lot of years out of Jonathan Taylor. But I feel like the Washington Commanders just aren't at that point.
What direction are they going in?
Yeah, right. I don't know. They might be doing a whole reboot.
Right. It really depends on what Sam Howell is. They got new ownership. They might have a new head coach after this season. I know I said yay just because of the fit, but I'm leaning 50-50 with that one because, you're right. What direction is Washington going in?
I don't know if Jonathan Taylor would want to go there. Just the everything that circulates in that organization.
Now you got a new owner, though.
From their logo, from their name to their head coach.
I forgot about that. How do you forget about that? How do you forget about that?
The Commanders, it still trips me up.
The Redskins still slips off your tongue a little bit.
Exactly. You're going to get canceled. Don't get canceled.
Let's not get into politics in this show. Last but not least, the Indianapolis Colts. Will he fit? Yay or nay for the Indianapolis Colts? Staying with Indy.
Nay. I mean,
why?
Just the fact that their coach
the
owner just said these outlandish things about it.
The dying
that's crazy.
And him being out of the league.
I wouldn't feel comfortable playing for that team anymore. It's this owner doesn't even care about me.
That
bro.
guy has lost his mind for sure. I actually have to say yay because, again, rookie quarterback, you want him to be comfortable. How do you make a rookie quarterback comfortable? You run the football. They got a decent offensive line. Keep Jonathan Taylor. He's your best player. He's definitely your best offensive player by far. What are you doing here? You're pissing off your best player. I don't know what the culture, like what they're thinking, because ever since Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, they've looked dysfunctional. You know, like not for nothing, like. They just keep recycling quarterback after quarterback. Hopefully they found their guy now, but they've made some questionable decisions. I just don't understand what they're trying to do there. Aren't you trying to develop some kind of culture there? And Jonathan Taylor is a good locker room guy, I've heard. So I don't know what they're trying to do in Indy. I don't get it at all. But so just replaying.
A lot of question marks there.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, if Anthony Richardson shows that he could be someone, everyone's gonna forget everything that Jim Irsay said, done. That just having a good quarterback and a good head coach can erase all memory of. All bad. That's just how it works.
Very controversial.
Yeah,
very.
Definitely. Now let's rehash that. So the Dolphins, we both had yay for that. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yes. Yeah.
The Bears, I'm pretty sure
we had yay. I had nay.
Yes, right. And the Chiefs, you had yay. I had nay. Yeah. And then what other
we
teams?
said Ravens.
I had yay for that. I think you had nay.
Yeah.
And then we talked about the Commanders. And the Commanders.
I'm nay. You're
I was
half.
Yeah, I was 50-50 on that. And then finally the Colts, which I have yay and Dylan has nay. So that ends it. The Jonathan Taylor talk. Let's see where he ends up. I mean, it's funny because week 1 I'm going against someone who has him. So hopefully he just like sits out or something. I don't gotta deal with it. So
yeah,
with my luck that won't happen. Again, last season I missed the playoffs by 0.3 points. Chris Godwin scored a touchdown. I'm jumping up and down. I just made the playoffs. Penalty, it gets called back. And they run it in for a touchdown, the game's over. I was like throwing stuff, getting mad at my girlfriend. It was a whole thing. Not going to get into that.
That's fantasy for you.
Yeah, so hopefully I bounce back this season for sure.
And while we're speaking about running backs, still, Josh Jacobs, question marks.
Where has he been?
What the hell is going on? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Like, are they going to play him? Or is he going to sit out? Is he going to be...
I don't even know. And I think the person I'm going against has him too. So it's just like this guy is really risking it all here. But
no, yeah,
I'm not going to put out his name to the public. But
no, yeah, that is pretty funny. What is going on there? Like, it seems like he really genuinely does not want to play. I think it's besides the money at this point. I think he's just making a statement.
Yeah,
and I think he really might sit out the season. Like we've seen it done. Like
I don't think that's a good idea.
Bell.
And how that turned out. He got paid though. I will say that got paid, but then ended up getting cut. And his career was never the same. Josh Jacobs is coming off a career year, so like I don't know. He would be.
Career.
I think
he was literally the best running back.
Yeah, exactly. And it was an all NFL, all pro year, that's for sure. And he would just be silly to sit out because the most he's going to make is the $10 million franchise tag. So you might as well try to get that.
So let's make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen with him?
He's going to play this year, week 1. He'll be there.
So do you think are they going to give him the franchise tag? Are they going to?
Is he going to sign the franchise?
Is he going to sign it? Is he going to get a deal like?
He's going to have to.
What Barkley got with the $900,000 extra dollars, $200 right away.
I don't think he would accept that. I think he's looking for more. And
he is, and I think he. I think
Barkley wanted that. To be honest with you,
like he had. So I think in his train of thought, he did what he had to do. He had a performing year. He outplayed every other running back.
Yeah,
and now they don't give him a deal. Like.
That
throws me off.
Same with Jonathan Taylor, though. 2 years ago had a career year, and now you don't want to pay him at all. Like, it's just like, it's getting a little questionable. Some running backs have value. Barkley, I mean, now they added players to Giants, but Barkley, he was the whole team last year. I mean, running backs still have value.
Yeah, that's the same thing, yeah.
Like, it depends. If you have a top 5 running back, yeah, you pay him some money. But, like, everyone else, I get it. Fair game. But, the elite guys, McCaffrey, Barkley, Josh Jacobs falls into this. Nick Chubb, I think Nick Chubb's only making like 12, 13. Same thing. You pay him a little more money. You don't just try to get him on $5 million.
Like, everything's a gamble. You don't know what any player's going to
exactly.
do. Like
Mahomes could have a career-ending injury tomorrow, and then we'll just never hear of him again. Andrew Luck retired out of nowhere. You don't know what's going to happen.
Just give him shorter deals. Give him a 2-year deal.
3-year deal.
You don't got to do a 5-year deal.
Make a 3rd-year option or something, and I'm sure he'll take. He just wants to be one of the higher-paid running backs this season and probably next season. I'm sure he's not asking for a 6-year deal.
The Raiders are really kind of veering off. They're making all sorts of changes with quarterback, running back. They're kind of all over the place.
It's confusing. It really is confusing.
Devontae Adams, we don't even know what's happening. He was not happy that they got rid of
Derek Carr.
But
Garoppolo was decent in the preseason, so I think they'll win about probably like 5 or 6 games, but they won't be terrible. Just because they have. Okay, if Josh Jacobs plays, they have the running back. They have the wide receiver Devontae Adams. Garoppolo's been to a Super Bowl. I think he has like a 70-something win percentage. So
aging Devontae Adams. Let's not forget that.
Okay. What is he, like 29? Let's relax there. You have Max Crosby.
Jimmy G doesn't really have an arm like that.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Jimmy
He
G doesn't have an arm, and Devontae Adams is a wide receiver that goes catch deep balls. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't really...
And that actually brings up another good point. Garoppolo's not great at throwing to the sidelines. He's a throw over the middle guy. Debo, Ayuk over the middle. That's what Garoppolo was doing. He's not a guy that can throw it on, outside the numbers on like those comeback routes to the sideline. His arm just isn't strong enough. I'm sure he can do it, but he's not as good at doing it as like, Justin Herbert or Josh Allen with the arm strength. So I get where you're coming from, but I think they could be a little interesting this year. The division's ridiculous, though, with the Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos, and the AFC in general. So they're not going to make any noise, but I'm sure they'll be a little competitive. Like you said, they always play the Chiefs well.
Yes. I feel like the Saints got a better results out of it because he looks amazing on the Saints. The Saints are a little...
In that preseason game a couple weeks ago, he did look good, right?
He looked week really one, good. Yes. Yeah.
And... I felt like they were kind of a quarterback away. They have a top 10 defense. If Kamara could even look like 80% of himself when he comes back.
I like the Saints this season. For sure.
I think they're going to win the division.
And I think Alvin Kamara is going to have a bounce back year for sure. Like, he did not have a good season last year. You want to know how many touchdowns he had? He had 2 touchdowns.
And that's a lot coming from you because you were very low on Alvin Kamara last year. So for you to think he's going to bounce back this year, that's saying a lot.
They got a new quarterback.
And I think they'll be decent this year.
Yeah, I think they're going to be good.
Hopefully Michael Thomas doesn't get hurt again because let's remember a few years ago. I mean, a lot of people called him Slant Boy, but he was one of the best receivers in the league. There was like a 4 or 5 year stretch with Drew Brees where Michael Thomas was probably the best receiver in the league. I think he had like 100-something catch it. He was really something. It's just the last 2 or 3 seasons we just haven't seen him at all. You can't trust him. You can't trust him anymore. But, we kind of veered off there. But, that's some interesting stuff there. A lot of stuff going on in preseason, the offseason.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now.
I have to admit, Dylan, I was a little tough on some quarterbacks last week, starting with Daniel Jones. I'm starting to pivot a little bit. He's looking sharp. Now, Golden Tate said something. You remember Golden Tate and the Giants, right?
Yeah,
a few years ago?
Of course.
Okay, so he said something. I think it was on a podcast saying, because he practiced with him, played with him. He said Daniel Jones can make all the throws. His problem is paralysis by analysis. He just thinks too much. He gets too much in his head.
He said he
can make
him falling over,
right? Yeah. So he can make all the throws, make all the plays. He has to go on autopilot this season. Like I said, let him rip. His rookie season, he had 24 touchdowns in 12 games. Let him rip. He looked good with Waller. He makes some good throws. Like I said, he's okay. He's not. I don't think he's elite.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think with all the weapons around him and all the veterans, and they're just gonna mold him to be a better quarterback. I believe that.
And the speed that they have on offense. Paris Campbell, Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah, let's go down.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Okay. Yeah, have some speed. Isaiah Hodgins. We have Darius Slay. We have Paris Campbell. We have Jalen Hyatt. We have Sterling Shepard. We have Wan'Dale Robinson. He's out, but he still looked really good last season. And Cole Beasley.
Don't you still have Crowder too? Didn't you sign Crowder too?
Yeah. He's like our 4th string now.
Yeah, and it's. You don't see many number 1s there. Maybe Hyatt turns into a number 1, but that's a lot of 2s and 3s. That's like you have some depth at wide receiver.
So I wanted to mention, Hyatt had the fastest mile per hour in college and in NFL, and he passed Tyreek Hill.
That's crazy because I think he's pretty big and Tyreek Hill's tiny.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
He has a lot of talent,
And Hyatt played very well too. The touchdown was kind of against backups, but I think he's going to be a legit receiver in this league. He might even get 1,000 yards this year. Oh, maybe not because Waller's there, but
exactly.
I'm a little high.
I think it might be better that we have that. We have a lot of more talent, and we won't be using Waller that much, so we don't have to worry about him getting hurt.
And this takes a lot of pressure off Saquon Barkley. He doesn't have to be your whole offense anymore.
I was saying this before. It's smart. Stop running it with Barkley. Stop just abusing him.
Stop being Saquon Barkley reliant.
Exactly. It's not smart. You're going to hurt him. He's going to get worn out, and it's just you. And the other thing is, like, if you're thinking about not paying him and doing all this stuff, then see what you can do without him. If you're thinking about getting rid of him next season, then see what you can do with just your receivers and Daniel Jones.
And he only got a 1-year deal, right? So exactly. This is a trial run to see what you could do with that. Right. And if Daniel Jones takes another step this year, they'll probably just let him walk. they'll probably just or they'll probably franchise tag him again. That actually probably makes the most sense.
Yeah, and he's probably gonna have a situation
demand
like
out.
Josh Jacobs, just being.
I'm leaving.
Upset.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving Jersey.
I'm going to California. I'm out of here.
Maybe he should go. Maybe they should switch teams.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll take Josh Jacobs.
I think they're like 1 year apart or two, but Josh Jacobs is younger. I think so. If I was John, no, I think realistically, Barkley is overall probably better than Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs just had a better year last year, but I think Barkley's the better
overall
player.
Barkley definitely is. He catches a lot more passes out the backfield.
Right, exactly, right. And before we get off that topic, Josh McDaniels also ran the hell out of him. I think he got over 300 carries, Josh Jacobs. So Josh McDaniels likes to run the ball a lot. But anyway, moving on. Another quarterback that I kind of was very critical of, impressed me a little bit. Not as much as Daniel Jones impressed me, but a little bit. Jordan Love. He made some good throws. He made some good.
This is the same guy that was talking last week about this. He's not a guy. He's not special.
Guy. No, I don't think he's special, but I do think he could be a top
one preseason game, and he's switching his whole narrative on Jordan Love. I love it, guys.
I wouldn't say switching my whole narrative.
He's switching his whole narrative.
He's not elite. So, I don't think he'll ever be elite, but I do think he could be.
Tom Brady.
What about Tom Brady?
He didn't go off until his third season.
Yeah, but that was like the late 90s, and things are different now. But let's not go down the rabbit hole we did last week. I think, like I said, I don't think he's going to be elite. I don't think he'll ever be elite, but I think he could be a top 15, top 13, even quarterback, because you got some players. You got two good running backs. Christian Watson started to ball out at the end of last season. You got a decent defense. All he has to do is go out there and be okay. Are the Packers a sleeper playoff team, Dylan? Who has a better chance of making the playoffs, the Giants or the Packers?
It's really the Packers, just for the fact of the division that they're in.
Yeah,
they have a way easier schedule.
Yeah, because they gotta play Packers gotta play Vikings twice. They're not terrible. Bears twice, Lions twice. Giants gotta play the Eagles twice and Dallas twice. That alone just makes their schedule tougher. And the Giants gotta play the AFC East, the Bills, Dolphins, Jets. Yeah. It's gonna be tough for the Giants. That's the only reason. Though that's the only reason I'm a little skeptical of the Giants making the playoffs. Because of their schedule. Now, the Packers' schedule is very easy. I could see a way where they win 9. I want to go crazy and say 10 games, but 9 games, sneak into the playoffs. Like I said, I don't think Jordan Love's elite, but I do think he could be decent. Now, will he ever be top 10? I don't know. I mean, right now I have Tua in my top 10, so maybe. I think he has a little bit better attributes than Tua. He's got a big arm. He can move. You saw that in the preseason game. So maybe I'm wrong about him. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little skeptical just because it took so long for him to start playing. But I don't want to see him flip-flopping every week. I just want to admit... I like each week to say when I double down when I'm right and double down when I'm wrong. And this is a week where it was a show me week for some of these players, and they've been showing me.
The NFC North is a very interesting division.
I know,
just for the fact for the Chiefs, just for the fact of the Bears and the Green Bay Packers
and the Vikings. What are the Vikings going to be this year?
Yeah, no,
and the Lions. When are the Lions? And we all get the Lions pick to win the division. They could just be the Lions again. We don't know.
I know.
But
all those quarterbacks are kind of just very similar. They're kind of I wouldn't say similar, but
you hit it on the head. Because
talent-wise, they're all kind of right.
Yes, because spot. I feel like Jordan Love at his peak will probably be similar to a Kirk Cousins, 11-12.
Yeah, I like
11-12, and Justin Fields is kind of in that range now. And Goff, that is a very that division can be flip-flop, go either way, go upside down. That division is very. I still think the Lions are going to win that division. But Green Bay could be a sleeper team to win that division. I don't want to get crazy now, but they have a decent
team is a sleeper. Exactly what you said. No team on there is a sleeper team. They're all kind of right there.
They really are, and you could even make a case for Chicago to possibly win that.
No,
division. And Minnesota, because look at what they did last year. Minnesota.
That's what I'm saying. It's really you don't know. I like the Bears. I like Justin Fields. He's really good, and I feel like he's really going to be taking a step up this season. He's a running quarterback. He has some legs on him, man. And then now he has some weapons around him. DJ Moore. They looked really good together in the preseason games. I think they're going to be good, man.
And I don't think the Vikings are going to take that. I think they're going to take a step back for sure, but not the step back that everyone's saying. So I feel like they're all going to finish one, maybe be tied, one game behind each other. It's going to be very close. Now, think about it, Dylan. The NFC's a little up for grabs. Besides, the Eagles, 49ers, I guess we could throw Dallas in there. Who else could be a contender for the NFC? You got obviously the Eagles and Niners, but who else? Can you put the Giants in there? Maybe the Seahawks? I don't know. Like, it's very tough. I guess Seattle, Detroit.
No,
I probably would go to Detroit.
I would go with Seattle, just for all the weapons they have too.
I love
They still
Jackson
have
Smith and
Metcalf.
Jigba.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's going to be special.
Geno Smith is the man. He really took a step up. And,
30 touchdowns last year.
Everyone doubted him, and now he's really made a comeback for himself.
And earlier you were saying how Tua is, if he was the deep ball, he's good with the deep ball. I've seen some throws that he laced in between two defenders at 40 yards on the field.
Metcalf is one of the fastest receivers, and the fact that you can you can keep up with him.
And you have Jackson Smith and Jigba now, so they're going to be dangerous, for sure. And they got Bobby Wagner back on defense, so they're going to make the playoffs, in my opinion. I think they're a lock to be a wild card team. They might even have the potential to win the division over the Niners, depending on how well Brock Purdy plays. But I'm going to go with the Niners in that division. But so you got Seattle, I got Detroit because Jared Goff has proven that he can win games when he's got some talent around him. And Amon-Ra St. Brown's a legitimate receiver.
He definitely is.
He's definitely proved that. You add Dave Montgomery. He's not the best running back, but he's very capable. You add some players on defense. The time is now for the Detroit Lions to win the division, Dylan. The time is absolutely now. But I don't want to spend.
I feel like it's been the time for them as well.
Yes, exactly.
With Dan Campbell, he's been.
He got laughed at his first couple of years, and he's become a very good head coach. I think he's a leader. I think he gets those players fired up. I love it too.
Yes,
I love when he gets emotional for his team. Like those
emotional. He was crying during one game that he lost.
Exactly, but think about that. Imagine being in that locker room, seeing a guy cry for you. I would be I would be like, I'm coming back the next game and I'm playing my. I'm gonna say a curse word there, but I'm gonna play my butt off for this guy. You know what I mean? Like he gets players. Saul does this a lot too on the Jets. He gets players fired up. Yes, Dan Campbell for sure, biting kneecaps and all. But
I like him too. Yeah, no.
Before
a lot of question marks around the NFC. You don't know.
Speaking about question marks in the NFC, I don't want to spend too much more time on that. But question marks in the NFC. What about the question mark that is Trey Lance?
Okay.
I don't want to hear he played good. I don't look. He made a couple good throws, yeah, but that's after
he had one good drive.
That's after he threw that terrible pick. You dirt that ball. You throw that ball in the dirt. You live for another down. Why would you throw that ball? You should know this by now.
He's in his third season now.
Exactly. I don't care how many regular season games he's played. You learned that in practice.
You had enough practice. You had enough preseason games. You had to start. You literally started, but you got hurt.
And I don't want to hear other shows, other podcasts say, "Oh, he's looking better." No, too little, too late for me on Trey Lance.
Fourth quarter. And who's starting in the fourth quarter?
No one.
Fourth, fifth, sixth strings. People that are never
not
going to
make
be
the
in the
team.
NFL.
And look at that throw Trey Lance made. Okay, great. It's after the pick he threw. There's 3 defenders in front of that screen. Why are you throwing that ball?
And then the one that got him all the way down the field, the guy was completely wide open.
I know. He made one decent throw where it was kind of tight coverage. I get it. Okay, he should make that throw. He's in the NFL.
So,
okay.
I think today officially they named Sam Darnold the number 2 quarterback.
They did. Yes.
Officially. So now, what the hell is happening with Trey Lance? You think
they're looking to explore options?
Yeah, no, I would trade him too. Get rid of him.
But who's going to get him? Who wants him? I don't want him. I don't even have a team.
It's like rotten potatoes. You don't want it.
Oh, you take him. No, you take him. Not good for Trey Lance. Not good. I feel bad though because he seems like a good guy.
So let's say he does get traded. What team do you think he would play for?
The first
Commanders.
That's interesting. The first team that comes to my mind is probably the Raiders. Reunites with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo could get hurt, take a flyer on Trey Lance. I don't know if I don't know if the Raiders would want to go in that direction. Another team that sticks out to me that could be interesting is the Atlanta Falcons. Who do they really have? I know they're a little high on Desmond Ridder, but I'm not sold on him. And they have Heineke now. They just got Heineke, the Falcons. But I'm not sold on either of those guys. So that's going to be an interesting spot.
Very interesting, yeah.
So
I like the Commanders, but, we'll see. Howell's not. I don't know.
We don't know what Howell is. We know what Brissett is. He's but, can win you a few games. But I don't know what direction the Commanders are going. I don't know what direction the Falcons are going, and I damn well don't know what direction the Raiders are going in. So it seems like teams that are like kind of on the frisk, that are desperate, would probably take
Raiders
a flyer.
Raiders are kind of a hot spot too, because just the fact that Jimmy G gets hurt a lot.
Yes,
so
they actually that guy. What was his name? Aiden O'Connell. He looked good though in the preseason. That quarterback that they drafted, he looked really good. So I don't know if they necessarily need him, but I just feel bad for the guy. He seems like a good kid. He seems like he works hard. Just didn't work out. I don't know if
I don't know. I feel like he just made a fool of himself. The ways I don't know. He just made such a bad look.
The thing is,
himself.
it's like Anthony Richardson. Not saying he's as talented as Anthony Richardson, but he needed the reps, and he went 2 years. The first year, Garoppolo played the whole season. Okay, we get that. And last year, he got hurt, was out for the year. So he needed the reps, and he didn't get the reps. So it is what it is. They're a team that has a roster to win now, and he was a project. You just suck it up as a loss. The Niners have drafted, have hit on way more players, defense, offense, receiver, tight end.
So you think he was just put under the spot? Like, here, just go in, go play.
Well, at this point, yeah, because now, at this point, you just want to salvage him, see what he's got. He had time to develop.
No, I'm saying, like, what you're saying, like,
like
he was kind of just thrown in at the spot and he kind of just ruined his opportunity.
No, I think it was the opposite. I wish they threw him in because that's the only way he was going to learn. I feel like they didn't give him enough playing time. I mean, last year they were going to ride with him, but then he got hurt, so that wasn't really their fault. But the year before, they just hung on to Garoppolo for a little too long, it seemed like, even though they made the NFC Championship game that year. So, like I said, I wish Trey Lance the best, but
adios, amigos, you're done. He's
probably. I think Zach Wilson, like we've been talking about this for weeks. Zach Wilson, especially after that run he had last week, he's definitely got way more of a shot to get a second chance. Oh
yeah, for sure. Like if you gave me a choice between Zach Wilson or Trey Lance, we
went with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson for days.
But anyway, good episode. We got a lot to talk about this week.
Yeah,
and the season is coming in full swing, and it's going to be very time consuming for us. But I just thinking back. For a long time, I've been wanting to do this podcast, and it never came to fruition, and I'm so happy I did it now because I get so much enjoyment from this, and I'm sure you do too.
Man, I look forward to this every week.
Every week I do, and we've been getting better every single week, Dylan. I remember our first couple episodes, we'd struggle a lot, have to cut stuff out, and like every single week, you have to cut out less, and then we just have more of a flow. And good thing we started before the season started, because now we're kind of getting into in full steam.
Absolutely.
And now we got our gear. We got our poster.
We're all ready. We're ready for the season to start.
So keep subscribing, and sharing. But all right, Dylan, see you next week.